Hi and welcome to Pumpkin's Nail Station. Today I'm going to be doing a dual form nail extension using the Modelones Polygel kit. So we're going to be using everything that's in it. I've already selected my size that I need. So we're going to be using the brush. I'm going to use the cleanser as a prep and wipe solution. We're going to be using the clear polygel. And we're going to be using size number 2 as the nail tip. So it's important when you're sizing up your tips that it fits from side to side without any pressure, because if it was there like that and I had to do this to make it fit, then all the polygel that's in there would just squeeze out all over the sides. So it's important that it just fits from sideball to sideball, like it's not too big and it's not too small. So you're going to need your brush, you're going to need to file your nails down flat, which I've done already in advance. You're going to need to make sure your cuticles are removed so there's nothing on your nails. So do a bit of a dry cuticle manicure if you've got an e-file, or if not, just make sure you've removed it with a cuticle remover and you've pushed back your cuticles. So I'm just going to push mine back, and we've got nothing on there because I've already done that in advance. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be prepping our nails with a dehydrator and a primer. So this is after we've prepped it, filed it and done all our cuticle work and wiped it off with some prep and wipe solution. So we're putting the dehydrator on first. So I'll probably do 2 layers of that just to make sure it's nice and dry. If you don't have a dehydrator, then you know, alcohol or 100% acetone like this would be good as a dehydrator. And then we're going to put the primer on. So this is an acid-free primer, so always try and buy acid-free where possible. I'll put the link to this one in the description box because it's reasonably priced and actually I've had no problems with it. It's called Base 1 that I've used. So I'm going to allow that to dry, and then what I'm going to use is a base coat. So I'm going to use this canny rubber base simply because I've seen a lot of people using the rubber base coats for this. And I think it's quite good for uneven nail beds like what I've got. I've got quite like ridged nails, so I think that's sort of what it's for. Or if you've got flexible, you know, weak nails, then I think you can use it under gel polish as well. So I'm going to apply this now. So you only need to apply a thin layer. I'm just going to wipe off as much as what I can off the brush. Make sure you don't get any on the sides of your nails. If you do, just clean it off before you cure it, and you don't need to cap your nails at this stage. So let's just say for argument's sake I did get something on there. Dip it in your alcohol or your acetone and just go around the edges just to clean off whatever you got onto your nail bed, onto your skin, just to ensure it looks nice. So I'm just going to cure that for 30 seconds. I'm going to be using the clear polygel from the kit. I'm going to be using size number 2. I've got some 91% isopropyl alcohol as my slip solution. I've got one of these like lint free wipes. I'll put the link to these in the description box. I think I paid about £3.50 for 100, so, or a couple of hundred, I'm not sure. You're going to need your polygel brush, and yeah, and you're going to need a powerful lamp. So I'm using the Sun 5 54 watt. So that's something you're definitely going to need. And you will need a polygel brush because you need a spatula and you need a soft bristle like gel brush. So now this next part's not essential, but I like to wipe off the tacky layer when I'm doing polygel nails, You don't have to, it's not essential, but I've seen some people do it and some people don't. I've tried both ways, but I prefer this because I just find it's not slipping around as much for me. And now I'm just gonna pause the camera, make sure I've got everything in where I want it. The reason I'm going to pause it as well is because I only get so long on filming and I don't want it to stop filming in the middle of doing it. So I'm going to pause it, get everything in the position where I want it, and then when I come back we're going to be doing the extension. Right, so we're here now, so we're ready to start. So you unscrew that, you take the tab off your top. I like to put this back on simply because it leaks, it keeps leaking out into the lid, so I just like to stick it back on, especially if you don't have one of those things like what everybody uses when you get a bigger tube. Like you see, it's just popping out even more, so it just prevents it from going everywhere. I just like to pop it back on and back in there, and it keeps it in there. So you're going to hold the side with the number on there, and then you go into put your polygel into the top there, so you can put your lid back onto. It's probably best to wipe that down first if you're going to put it back in there. So just get some isopropyl alcohol, clean your spatula before you put it back, otherwise it'll just end up all sticky. So now we're going to dip our brush into the isopropyl alcohol, make sure it's nice and clean, and then I don't like to put it straight onto there, I just dab off the excess onto that wipe there. And now we're going to start moving it down. So you want the top part nice and thin. You just dip your brush back into your alcohol when it starts to feel sticky, not before, because you just don't want well, basically you just don't want it to all be slimy and slippy. So you just keep doing this until you're happy that it's up both side walls there. If there's anything on the outside, just bring it back in, smooth it on. I don't want this nail very long, so I'm just smoothing it all out, shaping it a bit, following the guides. And then you just check if there's anything on here, just get your brush and just clean it off. You don't want anything that's on the outside that's going to make it stick to your nail. So then you can turn it over and check that you've got, that it's as long as you want it. If it is a bit too long, don't worry about it because you can file it off. It's fine. So I'll probably file a little bit of that off. So if you're happy with it, just check all the outside, check you've got no air bubbles. If you've got an air bubble, let's say for argument's sake you do, I'm just going to get something, so just bear with me. I've got some like wooden sticks in here. So I think I've got one just here. Okay, you would just pop it. So you just pop that, and then you get a bit more alcohol on your brush, and you would just go up and down until you've smoothed it out again, until it's gone. If it starts to pull, don't worry about it, just get a bit more alcohol, and there we go, that has gone. If you've got a sewing needle or something finer, then that would probably work a lot better. So now I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to place it onto the nail. So try not to go too near the cuticle and gently press on, making sure it's meeting the side walls. Gently press, making sure it's meeting there. You're going to need one of these as well, which I didn't mention. It doesn't come with the kit. You'll need one of these clamps here. So just make sure you've got it where you want it. Just make sure. And there will be a little bit that's squeezed out, so you'll get a bit of alcohol on your brush, dab off the excess, and you'll go down the edges and remove it. And just get rid of it. And wipe it on there. And just keep going until it's all off the skin. Do the same up the top. Remove it. Get it off the skin. And you just keep doing this until you've got rid of it all. Because you don't want that product. Because it's just going to mean filing for you, a lot of extra filing that you don't want. So that's perfect, that's fine. And then we're going to turn it over, rest it on there like so. Again, do that. Make sure there's nothing under your nail bed and smooth it out. It's a bit difficult with the thumb, but you have to smooth out the nail bed and make sure there's nothing underneath there. If there is, just get rid of it and do the same on the other side. Just get rid of it and smooth it down. So then you can just check it, make sure you're happy with it, and then just check it hasn't moved off the top. Now because you've had your hand upside down, there may be some more at the top, and then you'll just get all that off now, because it might press a little bit when you're cleaning the underside of the nail, so you just get rid of that. Check that you're happy with it, and then you put that bottom side there with like a little ridge on it, that goes underneath your nail, and this bit goes on top, so it sort of sits like that. That keeps it nice and flat. So now I'm going to put that into the lamp for a minute on one side and say 30 seconds on the other, or a minute and a minute, it's up to you, and then I'll come back. Right, okay, so we're back now. I'm just going to zoom in a bit closer for us to be able to see. So we are back. So I think that is a bit long, so it's out of proportion against the others. So I have got some different kind of cutters, but these can be used for false nails as well. So I'm going to cut off most of that. And let's see. Easy that cuts, so that's got rid of most of that. So I'm going to file most of this down. So I'm probably gonna, right, so we're back, so it's cured, and off camera I've just cut off the end part, which was on the end there, but that's pretty much how it came out, and that's the underside there. So there is a tiny little bit on the edges around here, so I'm just gonna get this file here and just go in the side. I might just come out a little bit so it's easier for you to see. So I'm just gonna go in the side a bit just to get rid of that little bit that was on the edges of there. And then I'm going to do the same on this side. Most people that are starting out are going to get this. I think you're lucky if it doesn't happen to you. Because it would be a lot worse than this if we didn't clean the edges. So it's really just getting most of that off the side with the file. Like so. And if you get any on the top, you can just file it like that. Or you can get your e-file if you've got one and go around the edges. I'm just doing this for the people that don't have an e-file. So you can do most of that. You can clip off any length that you don't want. And then I'm just going to file this down so it's in proportion like with the rest of the hand. So I'm going to do that off camera. And then we'll come back and I'll probably just go underneath there a little bit with my e-file. I would suggest if you're doing polygel nails to get an e-file. I'll stick a picture up just now of the one that I bought from eBay. It was only about 20 something, £25 or something. Jelly Luscious has got one, so I'll put a review in the top right. I mean, it's not a professional drill, it is for home use, but I've had no problems with it and it's been a huge help for me just for doing my nails at home. But if you're a professional, maybe get something a little bit better, I don't know, but I've had no problems with this one. So, and I've used it a fair bit. So I'm just going to go and sort it out, file it down to where I want, and then we'll come back and we'll show you the finished result. Right, so I'm back. So I've filed it down so it's in line with these other nails, and actually it's not been too bad. It looks nice, it feels nice. It was easy to work with. I did make a few, little errors. I made it too long. I probably didn't clean up as well up here as I could have done. So I had to file a little bit there. But it didn't take me long to fix, probably about 10 minutes of filing or something like that. And a little bit underneath here, because I'm still not perfect at it. And then now you would just paint it or whatever. But in another video, I think I'm going to be doing some more clear dip powder by Born Pretty Store on the other 3 fingers, and then I'm just going to cover it in some regular polish for like regular polish users. So if you like regular polish, but you have weak nails like me, I'm going to try some dip powder under regular polish to see how that goes. But yeah, so overall that's the finished nail. So really all you would do now is get some alcohol, not this because it's got acetone in it, and you would just clean the nail and you would just decorate it now. But yeah, overall I was happy with it. I think it's the nice shape. If you wanted it to have a bigger apex, then you could just put another layer of polygel on and start building it up. But I want them to be fairly natural, so natural looking, so I don't really want like a huge bump in them or anything. So yeah, so that was just the demo of the Modelones Polygel kit with the clear. If you did want to see any of the other colours, let me know and I'll swatch them for you. That's no problem. So if you wanted to see them all, let me know and I'll do it. If not, I think there's other videos, like I'm sure Baby Girl Nails has one where she's swatched this kit. If she has, I'll put it in the description box for you or somewhere in the top right in the video now as we speak. So yeah, so that is the finished nail. So if you enjoyed watching this video, give it a big thumbs up. I do like this polygel. It doesn't leave any white, inside the alcohol. That's the alcohol that I've been working with. Just to prove it, there's the brush and there's nothing it doesn't leave it cloudy or anything like that, like another polygel that I've used, it left it quite cloudy. And you know, at some point if you're doing a full set you might have to change the alcohol, which is, you know, minor because you don't use a lot. I mean, it's a little cloudy, but it's not as cloudy as another make that I used. I think it was Gel Like. That's the one that left it a bit cloudy. I don't think Born Pretty Store did. But Gel Like Polygel is nice. It does make the solution go a little bit cloudy. That's all I can say about it. But it does feel like a nice polygel. And this one feels nice. It feels nice and strong. It was difficult to cut with my cutters. These were a Christmas gift and they can be used for artificial nails as well. They're not very good at cutting regular nails, but you put the artificial nail into the side like that and then you cut. So you open it up, you put your artificial nail into there and then you chop. Really, that's what you do. Apparently, but I think I need to get some proper cutters. I'm just waffling now. I'm not sure if the thing should sit this way, the clip, so I'm going to find out. But if anybody knows if I was doing it wrong sitting it that way, but it just seems more like that's made for the finger and that's made for the top, but it could be that that's for the bottom and that's for the top. So if someone could tell me, I'd appreciate it, because I don't know if I was doing it right. Because when I did it this way, a lot of the polygel came out at the top. Not a lot, but a bit. So as you can see, I had to file a little bit because it did come just above there. So where I was filing this like that, that's because there was some that had come out the top, so I had to do that. So it wasn't loads, but you know, it could have been, and then you won't know until you come out, and then it's, you know. So if anybody could let me know, because it could be that way, but I don't know. So if someone could let me know, I'd appreciate it. But I'm waffling now, so yeah, so that's everything then for this demo. I'm going to do these 3 fingers. I'm going to complete this hand in another video. I'm going to use Gel Like Polygel to do these 3 fingers. I have Born Pretty Store on these ones, and then I have the model ones on this, and I'm just going to see how they last, which one lasts the longest, and which one I like best, so it gives me an idea. So that's everything. So thanks for watching. Bye.